Hey guys, Kenny Wisdom here, bringing you another Trainer Tip Tuesday for On the Bubble, and this week we're going to talk about something that I don't think many people really touch on enough, which is just the vast amount of resources that everyone has now for not only finding events, but also building competitive decks and really bouncing ideas off of players and getting a lot of information. So let's see, I started playing in 2009, moved more competitively into the game in 2011, but back when I played, there was the Poke Gym, and that was really about it. You know, 6 prizes would launch shortly after that, but Underground would take a couple more years to get launched. There is certainly nothing like 60 cards. There's nothing like the Top Cut quite yet, and the stuff that the Top Cut did that existed back then wasn't anything like, it wasn't its final days. It wasn't anything like On the Bubble is now, or Team Fish Knuckles, or anything like that. And I think that's something that people really take for granted nowadays, is just the ability to, you can go on 6 prizes, and obviously I write for 6 prizes, full disclosure. I've written for 6 prizes for years, and I really support that site, but even if I didn't, the site is objectively great. I mean, even if you just read the free articles, I write free articles all the time, there's a lot of content there, but paying the $14.95 or whatever it is per month for Underground is a great deal. And not even 6 prizes, I really don't want to make this video into some kind of shilling. I'm just saying that there are a lot of things that I think that people kind of take for granted now or don't really get. Even free things like 60cards.net has a lot of free content. Even Verbank, Verbank is not always the premier example of the community, but there are a lot of decks that get posted, there's a lot of discussion, YouTube channels, like I said before, there's just so much now, and I think that, busting into the competitive Pokemon scene now is so much easier than it's ever been, basically, because you just have lists, you have content, you have people that are willing to talk to you, you have Facebook, and, obviously I think this is really good for the game. I think that it's awesome that this information is being shared. I know a lot of competitive players kind of think that it's, makes it the game too easy, or there's something cheating about getting deck lists online, but I think that's all nonsense. I think that there is something to be said for concealing information, but it just evens the playing field nowadays, and I think that as a player trying to break into the game right now, or even a seasoned veteran, you should take advantage of every possible thing that you can. For a long time, I read every article that came out on 6 prizes, every article. There was many sites back when I was doing this regularly. They don't exist anymore, but even now, I'm preparing for Arizona Regionals and British Columbia Regionals, playing in both of them next month, and I've been reading everything that I can get my hands on, everything in 6 prize, everything in 60 cards, every YouTube video that I think is relevant, just tons and tons of stuff, and I think that if you aren't paying attention to all of that, you are really depriving yourself of something. And, note that I don't think you necessarily need to read absolutely everything or watch, a whole 40-minute video or whatever it is, but at least be aware and at least kind of, use all the information you can. It's sort of like in a game, if in a match you had a free ability that just lets you look at your opponent's hand every turn and you didn't do it, you'd be giving up something. You'd have free information there that you could have and you just choose to ignore. And that's kind of how it is here, which is just that, if you don't check things out on 6 prizes, if you don't pay attention to what the community is doing, if you don't at least look at, the various YouTube videos that are posted, both on this channel and others, I think you're really, really depriving yourself of something. And, obviously just to kind of give a shout out, obviously I care about the work I do here. I think that Team Fish Knuckles is a great YouTube channel as well. 6 prizes is my favorite site. I think it's the premier site, and I would recommend really putting a lot of time and attention into those websites. And I also think that, one thing is I talked about this a little bit before, but honestly, just talking to people, I kind of got lucky in that I was pretty quick to become friends with people like Tyler Nomura, with people like David Cohen, people like Ross Cawthon, and now, of course, I have many, many friends that I can rely on for deck lists and talks and whatnot. But even as someone who doesn't know anyone, I think it's, you might as well just try. You might as well ask someone for a list, or ask someone for advice on your list, or, ask them for some bit of strategy. If it's not out there in the public, who knows? Maybe, the worst I can do is say no, And I think a lot of Pokemon players, although, secrecy is important in the game and kind of concealing information can be important, I really think that a lot of players, more often than not, will aim to help you. So I think that's kind of the moral of this, is just when preparing for regionals, when preparing for any event, really try and use all the resources you can and realize how important those are and how new those are. There's definitely weren't something that was around back when I started, and even, back when I started, I'm sure that someone who started in 2002 will have will say that there's nothing. It's really, even when I started, there was some stuff. There was some advanced logic. Chris Fulop was writing for a Pokemon about jump left decks. There was something then, but it's still nothing that what it compares to now. So with that being said, I don't know what my topic is going to be for next week, but I know that before regionals, so before the first week of regionals, I'm going to do an episode, just a Q&A episode on regionals. So if you guys want to, in the comments, both A, let me know what you want me to talk about next week, and B, ask me questions for regionals. Make them kind of quick. I'm hoping to answer a bunch of them. I'd love to get to as many as possible, and I only have so much time to make the video, so definitely try and make them kind of concise, and I will definitely do my best to answer them. Additionally, if you guys can't tell, I am using a new method. I'm just recording with my phone, which I think will actually provide a better product. I know it's a little shaky right now. I do have an iPhone tripod adapter coming, so the shakiness will not be there anymore. So pretend that that's not there and tell me what you think. Is it, a better format? Do the videos look better? Do they sound better? Let me know and we can work this out together. I think it's better, but obviously, it's all for you guys. So that's been all for this Trainer Tip Tuesday. My name is Kenny Wisdom for On the Bubble, and I'll see you next week.